Alright, we're here with Law 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. So this kind of goes along with never outshine your master, okay? You have to know who you're dealing with in the game of power. Previous Law 18 was short. This one's going to be a little bit longer and in-depth simply because this is one of the main laws. I feel kind of like Law 19 and Law 1 are similar. So know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong people. So in your pursuit for power, you don't want to offend the wrong people. Let's say, let's just say you got pulled over by a cop. You don't want to be like, hey, mother effer, like, F you, blah, blah, I'm more powerful than you are, okay? That's not going to work. You have to play a finesse game, a soft power game with those that have more power than you. If they don't have more power than you, you can, basically do whatever you want. It's better to be nice to them, obviously, but don't put too much of your time into them if they're not relevant to you or your mission, okay? So, facts. There are many different kinds of people in the world. Never assume everyone will respond to your strategies in the same way, okay? For example, let's say you just use aggression and brute force. Like, I'm going to plow through everyone. You're going to meet someone that doesn't give a shit, that doesn't care that you're super aggressive because, maybe they have a gun or maybe they have more power than you. Maybe they're a police officer. Maybe they're a cartel leader. Like, who knows? So you have to know who you're dealing with so that you can pick the right strategies and use the right tactics. And this goes for not just enemies, it goes for people that are around you at your workplace, coworkers. It goes for your family. It goes for your friends. It goes for everyone. You need to know who you're dealing with. That way, you can really just take yourself to the next level and be a person that knows people in general, okay? And if the word power turns you off, because this is called the 48 Laws of Power, it could be more like seduction. It could be called persuasion. Whatever it is, you're gaining power over someone, and you always need to know who you're dealing with, okay? So choose your victims, targets, and opponents carefully. Who are you going to use as your target to get what you want or to do what you want, okay? You got to pick them very carefully and use them strategically in certain ways by giving them, certain gifts, telling them certain things. You really have to do that. So make sure that you're, analyzing who your potential target is. And it says victim, which is like, it's kind of a harsh word, so you don't really have to use victim or think of it as like, oh, they're my victim. And you know what I just actually thought would be cool is like having the 48 Laws of Power right here. It's taken me like 19 videos to kind of get the set looking good and everything, because I was like, you know what, I'm going to film all these videos. Let me just throw up a little green screen I have and this for the set. And I was like, I'll improve it as I go. I think the book right here, I'll just need to make something to stand it up on. Okay, so, yeah. Never offend or deceive the wrong person. Like I said, the law pretty much just, you hear the concept and then it says it in a few different ways. Okay, so the point is just choose the right victim, don't offend the wrong people. So, the highest form of the art of power is the ability to distinguish wolves from sheep, foxes from hares, so foxes from a bunny, suckers and victims from kings and the powerful. So you might have a sucker, you might have a victim that you can easily take advantage of, or you might have a king, you might have someone more powerful that you're going to have to really, really like finesse and not offend and do all these certain things, all this extra work, all these extra strategies that wouldn't be required for someone of a lesser caliber like a victim. So this is just like becoming socially aware, and I probably have some videos on YouTube of other books, just good books that I feel like give good information. So go ahead and check those out. And the reason I say that is to help you get better at reading people, being able to analyze correctly what you need to do to make them do what you want, all that kind of stuff, okay? Because you need to be able to do that in order to use this law, know who you are dealing with. Someone unimportant today can gain power tomorrow. So, let's say if you offend someone today that you believe is unimportant, tomorrow they could gain power. They could win the lottery. it can happen. So you want to be careful when treating people badly. You need to treat people good for the most part. And I personally can always get better at treating people better. Sometimes I've had an attitude. I feel like sometimes I've offended the wrong people. Now that I read this, I need to really know who I'm dealing with before I start to get too, like wild with my words. And you need to do that too. Okay? So, doing this, picking the right target, never offending the wrong person. So, target's another word for person. Doing this, analyzing, so picking, analyzing, and then you can use the right bait to get them to do what you want, okay? Everyone likes different things, and you need to be able to identify as quickly as possible what the person that you're targeting likes, okay? Do's. Recognize what type of person you are dealing with, okay? In every sense. How do they dress? How do they smell? How do they move? How do they talk? How do they work? You have to know who you're dealing with. And then once you know who you're dealing with, you'll be able to use your strategy. Because without your strategy, like, you don't know what, without knowing who you're dealing with, you don't know what strategy to use. So you have to figure out, who am I dealing with, in order to find out what strategy works. And I am going to create a program that sort of like identifies personality types so that you can easily be like, oh, okay, this is that personality type, let me use this strategy. So I'm like, personality types, here's the strategies that work. So make sure that you check that out. It's probably not going to be available right this second, but it will be a paid program. That way you put some money on the line and you actually take it serious, okay? So, I have written down here, pick the right victim. I already went over that. So, here's an important point. Never use instinct to determine victim type. Use correct knowledge, correct evidence, okay? Don't just go by a gut feeling like, oh, I feel like this person is this type of person. Let me treat them in this way, okay? You need to find the concrete evidence, the knowledge, and then determine that they're this type of person, okay? Or that type of person. So make sure that you're not just going on intuition, like a quick read and be like, oh yeah, they're this type of person. You need to actually gather concrete evidence, concrete knowledge, concrete signals, concrete data, and use that to create your frame, your form, your image, the reputation that you have for this person. So make sure that you're doing that. What is concrete? That's just something that you're going to have to find out, Is this the truth about them, or is this just sort of an act they're putting on to deceive you? It's all like, all these laws mixed together, and you have to be able to read people at the end of the day. Read people, read their actions, and then tailor, customize your actions to mesh with them and get them to do what you want, okay? Never trust appearances. Never trust appearances, never trust the version, the self that people give them, because it's made up usually, okay? It's not the true them. The true them comes from like how they were brought up, how they were raised, what characteristics they have. The version that they give themselves are what they want to be, and they might fit it, they might be it for a bit, but they're usually not it habitually, okay? So you don't want to trust appearances. You need to see, learn, hear, figure out how people operate moment to moment, most 90% of the time on a daily basis. Then you're going to be able to use your strategies to get to work on the true them, okay? That goes along with another one of the laws perfectly, which is, pose as a friend, work as a spy. When you do that, you can gain the information, you can gain the knowledge that you really need in order to do whatever you want to do to your target, meaning the person, okay? So with this law, with me saying this law, I feel like there's a lot of different areas that you need to understand and look at in order to quickly analyze a person, okay? A few of them, what type of clothes do they have, what type of vehicle do they drive, okay? What are some of their favorite things? Then you can be like, oh, okay, this person operates on a timeline, meaning their day, their patterns like this. Okay, this is what they do, this is what they do. And then you can use the correct strategy. Credit card companies do this, major companies do this. They have a bunch of data, This age range usually acts like this. They behave like this. They want this. Now, there's outliers, of course, people that act different, people that act, maybe weird or strange compared to the regular people, but those people are like the 1% of people. So, we can use the data to create the right profile, so to speak, the right avatar, meaning just like the right shadow person of them. So you have like the real human being, then you have their data up here. This is what they do, this is how they act, this is what we can do to get them to do what we want. And if you're an entrepreneur like I am, it is to get them to buy stuff, okay? So, yeah, that's Law 19. Know who you are dealing with. This is actually very exciting. I'm very excited about this one because it gives me a whole nother system of knowledge. I already have it in me, but it makes me want to create a external system that I can give to you, that I can show to you, that I can teach to you. So I'm going to do that. I actually have a few great books that I'm going to look over and write notes, including Pitch Anything by Aaron Clough. That's a very good book, so you might want to check that one out too, because he talks all about, framing things correctly. So yeah, Law 19, know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, get notified, share this with someone. And most importantly, make sure you're using Law 19 in your pursuit of power.